By the end of this video, you will learn how to serve in pickleball like a pro. Whether you're picking up the paddle for the very first time, or you've been around the court long enough to crave more spin, more power, and more consistency. The serve sets the tone for the point, and it's the one shot you have full control over. Get it right, and you'll feel confident every time you step to the baseline. Get it wrong, and you'll find yourself handing away free points or setting up your opponent to attack. The good news is that there's a clear path for building a strong serve. You start simple with a drop serve to build solid fundamentals, and as you grow in confidence, you transition to the more advanced volley serve that allows for pace, spin, and a real weapon to open points. Today we're going to go through both of these. First the beginner-friendly approach, and then the advanced version. And I'll also explain the biggest mistakes to avoid, so you don't build bad habits that hold you back later. If you're brand new to pickleball, the drop serve is where you want to begin. It's forgiving, it's easy to learn, and it gives you all the fundamentals you'll need for more advanced serving later on. Here's how it works. Instead of trying to hit the ball directly out of your hand or timing it perfectly as it falls, you're going to let it drop from your hand to the court and bounce once before you hit it. That's it. Simple, right? The beauty of this is that you don't need to worry about tossing the ball perfectly or catching it at just the right height. You just let it fall naturally and meet it after it bounces. When you set up for the drop serve, start with your paddle back and your arms separated. Why? Because this automatically encourages you to make contact in front of your body, exactly where you want it. If you get in the habit of making contact out in front from day one, you'll be setting yourself up for success when you eventually progress to more advanced serves. Another tip, hold the ball as high as you comfortably can before you drop it. Remember, the rules say the ball has to be a dead drop. You can't throw it downward or add force. By holding it higher, you're simply giving it more distance to fall, which creates a higher bounce and makes it easier for you to strike cleanly. Timing is key here. Drop the ball when your paddle is already back and ready. Then, as the ball rises from its bounce and reaches its peak, swing through and make contact. Aim to connect out in front of your lead foot, and then let your paddle follow through naturally all the way up to your shoulder. That long, relaxed follow-through is what helps you build both control and power over time. When starting out, there are two really common mistakes players make with their serves, and both can limit your growth if you're not careful. The first is making contact too far back, behind your body. If you're reaching behind you to hit the ball, you're robbing yourself of leverage and consistency. Plus, you'll end up with serves that don't have much depth or spin. Always focus on meeting the ball out in front. The second mistake is stopping your swing short instead of following through. When you cut your swing off halfway, you're essentially putting a cap on your serve's potential. Think of your serve as a building block. Even if you're not hitting it with tons of pace now, a full follow-through sets the foundation for when you are ready to add more speed later. So, get used to finishing up by your shoulder as if you were answering a phone call. That habit will carry you far. Taking the next step, the volley serve. Now, let's fast forward. You've been playing for a while, you feel comfortable with the drop serve, and now you want to level up. This is where the volley serve comes in, the version most advanced players use. Instead of letting the ball bounce, you're hitting it right out of the air as it falls from your hand. Why switch? Because the volley serve unlocks two big advantages: more rotation of your body and more friction on the ball, which means more power and more spin. Here's the problem with serving directly out of your hand. When both your hands are together at contact, your body can't rotate properly. You're basically serving with just your arm. That might feel fine at first, but it limits how much pace you can generate. With the volley serve, you drop the ball and pull your non-dominant arm out of the way, freeing up your shoulders to rotate naturally. Rotation is where true power comes from. When you serve this way, your swing doesn't feel forced or stiff. It's smoother, stronger, and more relaxed. Like the difference between pushing a heavy box with just your arms versus using your whole body to drive it forward. Other huge benefit of the volley serve is how the downward motion of the ball interacts with your upward paddle swing. Think of it like two forces colliding. The ball is falling, your paddle is rising, and the friction between the two creates extra bite. That's what gives you more spin and more speed. If you're only swinging from low to high against a stationary ball, you don't get that same energy. But when the ball is already dropping, your upward swing works with gravity to add extra whip. This is why advanced players can rip serves that skid low, curve slightly, or jump off the court in ways that make life miserable for the returner. To make the most of this, your contact should happen as the ball is still coming down. If you wait too long and meet it at the bottom of its drop, you lose the benefit. So the rhythm is paddle back, release, swing as it falls. Rotation is the engine of a great serve. With the volley serve, you can finally open up your shoulders, pull your non-dominant arm out of the way, and finish fully toward the net. This doesn't just add power, it makes the serve more natural. Instead of muscling the ball with your arm, you're letting your body's momentum do the work. Focus on finishing high, above your shoulder, with your chest facing the net. If you stop short, you're back to using mostly arm power. The more you exaggerate that rotation and finish, the cleaner and heavier your serve will feel. So how do you bring all of this into your own game? Start with the drop serve. Master the basics. Contact in front, smooth follow through, relaxed swing. Once that feels automatic, begin experimenting with the volley serve. Work on your release timing, your shoulder rotation, and hitting the ball as it falls. Be patient with yourself. It's tempting to want to jump straight to ripping power serves, but the players who do that without good fundamentals usually plateau quickly. The ones who take the time to layer each skill, first control, then consistency, then power, end up with serves that are both reliable and dangerous.